Hi there, this is Solitary Ronan from Solitary Ronan Films, and we're back on the train of shame, the backlog of shame, and I'm just going to show some director box sets. Also, I showed some in the BFI backlog of shame, and there is actually a BFI box set that I completely forgot about, which I really shouldn't have because it's massive. So I'm just going to go through these director box sets. Now, I've seen some of the films and the sets, and there's obviously some that I haven't seen any of, but I'll just go through them and add to my backlog of shame. Again, I'm not going to show everything in my backlog of shame because that would just be ridiculous. But here's some director box sets. The BFI one that I forgot about, which is a bit ridiculous because it is rather large, is the Alan Clark Descent and Disruption. Again, I have seen some of these films. And I did a video on Elephant from 1989, which is just spectacular. Again, if you want to check out some Alan Clark videos, the only person on YouTube I believe that does or has done Alan Clark videos is Nazrin Broad. So if you want to go over to his channel, I'll leave a link below. You can search for all the Alan Clark videos he's done. One of the most underrated British filmmakers of all time, but again, because his stuff is political, he does get overlooked somewhat. Next is the Godard set, which I haven't watched all of. I know it's utterly ridiculous, but Godard has always scared me with his furious eyebrows. Obviously I've seen Breathless and Alphaville, but this has Infame and Infame, Le Mépris and Pierrot Le Fou. So at some point I will get through the Godard set. There's not actually that many films on it, so I don't really have that much excuse. I've got Weekend, which I've seen before, on Artificial Eye to watch as well on Blu-ray, because I haven't seen it in Blu-ray before. Next is the Studio Canal Almodovar collection, which I know a friend of the channel, Chris Mohan, has worked his way through, or partially worked his way through, and he recommends them. Again, I haven't actually seen any Almodovar films. This is Dark Habits, What Have I Done to Deserve This, Law of Desire, Women on the Verge of a Nervous Breakdown, Kika and the Flower of My Secret. So it is a really nice, worthwhile set if you want to start off with Almodovar, which I will at some point. Next is a relatively recent release, which of course I haven't actually started, is the Bernard Tavernier set, which has Quelle la Fête Commence, Une Semaine de Vacances, Coup de Torchon, L627, La Guerre Sans Nom, Ça Commence Aujourd'hui, Laissez-Passer, and La Princesse de Montpensier. I believe I have seen Coup de Torchon and L627, but I haven't seen any of the other ones. So again, I will get into that at some point, honest. The next one is the Artificial Eye Truffaut collection. And again, I have seen Shoot the Pianist. I have seen Julie Jim. Finally Sunday might actually be my favourite Truffaut film. It's probably not anybody else's favourite Truffaut film, but I love it. It's Fanny Ardant fantastic with Jean-Louis Trintignant. And The Woman Next Door with Gérard Depardieu and Fanny Ardant is wonderful as well. So I've just got a few of these to see as well. Next is the Charlie Chaplin collection. Again, I've seen all of these when they used to be shown in BBC Two in the 80s and 90s probably. I have seen the Gold Rush more recently again in modern times, which is probably my favourite Chaplin, but I do need to relive or rewatch The Kid, A Woman of Paris, The Circus, City Lights, Great Dictator, Monsieur Verdoux, Limelight, King of New York, not King of New York, that's a completely different thing, and the Chaplin Review. But again, I will get through them at some point. The Arrow Academy Shoei Imamura 3-film set. I have watched Black Rain, but I've still got Zagan and Imamura's version of the Ballad of Naramaya. And a recent pickup, which I pretty much just took a chance on, because I did get it for a really good price, is the Lucas Moodysson collection, which has this sleeve with little drawings on. It is a fairly weighty tome because it has a book and it also has a copy of a poem he wrote in book form. So this has Effing Amal, or Show Me Love, Together, Lily Forever, A Hole in My Heart, Container, Mammoth, and We Are the Best. So it's a fairly weighty tome. I believe I have seen Hole in My Heart quite a long time ago, but again, it was just because I got it at a really good price. I'm going to take a chance on that and see how they are. I mean, he's Swedish. Next is another set that I have watched some of the titles on it, just not all of it. And that's the Valerian Borowicz collection, which has The Beast, which I have watched and did a random review of, I believe. Blanche, it has Immoral Tales, it's got Go To Isle of Love, Theatre of Mr. and Mrs. Cabal, and short films. Even though I think my favourite Borowicz is actually his version of Jekyll and Hyde. But his films are always interesting. Next is another one that I'll get a little bit of joyful abuse at. And this is 4 films by Fellini, which is 8.5, which I have watched and I thought was good. I mean, an amazing opening, an amazing ending, but the bit in the middle, I have also seen La Strada, which again I thought was good. I know this is sacrilege. So this also has La Dolce Vita, Juliet the Spirits, and I Vitelloni. So I will watch some more of Fellini to see if I can actually really like one. And the next 2 are kind of planned series, but obviously my planned series sometimes go awry just for one reason or another. So this is Angelopoulos. So these are just on DVD because for some reason Angelopoulos isn't on Blu-ray. So this is volume 1, which is the reconstruction, Days of 36, The Travelling Players, and The Hunters. Again, just on DVD. And then volume 2, which is Alexander the Great, Voyage to Cythera, The Beekeeper, Landscape in the Mist, and The Suspended Step of the Stork. And then volume 3, which is Ulysses Gaze, Eternity in a Day, The Weeping Meadow, and The Dust of Time. So I'm hoping to do an Angelopoulos season, so I will be watching those ones. Honest. Another one of the other seasons I'm hoping to do is from Germany. I've only seen 2 films from this director. I know this is even more sacrilege, but it's Fassbinder. So this is volume 1, which is Love is Colder Than Death, Katzelmacher, The Merchant of Four Seasons, Beware of the Holy Whore, The Bitter Tears of Petra Van Kant, and Tenderness of the Wolves, which I have actually seen. So that's 3 Fassbenders I've actually seen. And then Volume 2, which is Fear Eats the Soul, Effie Breast, Fox and His Friends, Chinese Roulette, and the Marriage of Maria Braun. And then finally Volume 3, which the belly band is upside down. Even more sacrilege. Which is Gods of the Plague, Rio das Mortes, The Nicklahausen Journey, The American Soldier, Mother Custer's Goes to Heaven, Fear of Fear, and Satan's Brew. And then finally, in my director's box set of shame, I've just included this one just to annoy SGS Arts. And it's Jisoji even, the Buddhist trilogy that I still haven't watched, on the Arrow Academy, which is Poem, Mandala, and This Transient Life. But I will get to at some point when I move. So that is More Shameful Shame, the director's box set edition. Again, I'm not going to show you everything in my backlog, because if anybody's counting, it's shameful enough. So thanks very much for watching. As you can tell, I'm emotionally beaten up about this. Farewell.